Hello, my friends. Scott Primiano here with your weekly prep talk. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Before we start today, I want to give a shout out to any alumni who might be listening. You number at this point over 50,000 people who have been exposed to this program in some form or fashion over the past 27 years, whether that was through Polestar, my Polestar programs, through the book, Hard Market Selling, which is older now. I wrote it or published it in 2003, so it's a bit dated. So I want to welcome you if you are here. Some of your children may be here, actually. And I want to let you know that I miss talking with you. I miss coaching these behaviors. I miss building your business plans with you. And most of all, I miss hearing your victory reports. I miss hearing about how you're applying what we're discussing and how it's working. For new listeners, don't get thrown off by the term business plan. What I really mean is a behavioral plan. How can we develop a process to do business, to do our day, to do the work that we do that's more enjoyable, more life enhancing, more appropriate, more productive, more efficient, all of those things. And there is a way to do it. And it's small things. We're not talking about a major revolution. We're talking about a little bit of evolution so that we start to break or take a look at anyway our rituals, our ruts, the things we do and have been doing in the same way for a very long time, and think about if there might be a better way or a more efficient way, or if the thing needs to be done at all. And that's a big deal. All of us are stretched beyond our capabilities for time. All of us are looking for stolen moments. And our job, I think, together will be to find those and put them to the best use. One of our jobs, anyway. There's a lot of ground we're going to cover, and we're going to take it bit by bit. We're going to work together, relying solely on your interpretation of the ideas and suggestions and your ability to implement them in your world. Please remember, this is a process, not an event. You can't possibly implement everything that we discuss. And the results that we're looking for will show up over time, not overnight. What you don't need is more stress, more anxiety, more hurry, and more worry. You're already busy. Let's come up with some ideas to help you be less busy, less pressured, less anxious, not more. And let's do so both professionally and personally. This idea that you can leave work on the doorstep when you arrive home or leave home in the car when you pull into work is absolutely ridiculous. You are one person, schizophrenia aside, you are one person, and what stresses you at work is going to stress you at home, and what stresses you at home is going to stress you at work. So let's build a game plan to bring the stress meter down in both areas. Because if we don't, that stress over time will kill you. Stress has been linked to every malady known to exist. It either causes them or exacerbates them. And what I don't want for you or anybody is to go through life busy, 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 dead. That sucks for you, and that sucks for those around you. And ultimately, that's not why we're here. Think about when you were young. Some of you are still young, but think about when you were younger. You had dreams, goals, visions, ideas of what life should look like. They probably didn't include running off the rails every day trying to keep everyone around you happy and forsaking your own happiness just so you can get by. Now, we don't tell ourselves we're giving up. We don't tell ourselves our goals aren't realistic. What we tell ourselves is we'll get to that stuff eventually. when we have time. Well, when is that time going to magically appear? It won't unless we make time for it. The reality is this, and you know this. In order to achieve our objectives, we have to engage in that activity called high payoff activities that lead us in the direction of the achievement of those objectives. If we don't do what is necessary to get there, we're never going to get there. And the reason we're incorporating a personal development plan, in addition to a professional development plan, is the two have to work in harmony. There has to be a balance between what we do professionally and how it's serving us personally. And if I had to choose between the two, I would submit to you that your personal plan is more important. I'm going to read to you a small excerpt from my book that captures the point I'm making perfectly. Whatever we put ahead of our personal objectives will ultimately stand in the way of their accomplishment. Work is indeed important, but only to the degree that it is effectively contributing to our larger need for personal satisfaction. If you make your job a higher priority than your family, you will lose a meaningful relationship with your family. When work is more important than your health, you get sick. When our professional lives are synchronized with our personal lives, we are more apt to feel productive and essential. We sense that we are moving towards something meaningful and tangible, that we are working for more than just a paycheck. We have purpose and a sense of progress. We have a life. On the other hand, when our professional lives are working against us, either negatively influencing or entirely overwhelming our personal goals, we often feel frustrated, lost, and unfulfilled, as if we were merely marking time. We become pessimists. What's a pessimist? In my book, it's someone who can look at the land of milk and honey and see only calories and cholesterol. As pessimists, we drift along toward personal substantiation, but absent a true connection to a living blueprint, we overindulge in what gratification we can find through our work. Living almost one-dimensionally, our identities center on positions, titles, and professional responsibilities. If that's happiness, it's of the artificial variety. As we move further away from our personal agendas and closer to artificial happiness, superficial measurements of success become confused with fulfilling ones, and we over-identify with things measured monetarily or materialistically. Who we are becomes secondary to what we do, what we have, and what we earn. This is the ultimate negation of our humanity." End quote. What I'm trying to remind you of is that what you do is not who you are. And you do what you do for a very specific reason, to support the life you want to live, to support the person you want to be. Years from now, nobody's going to remember you were the world's greatest producer in the third quarter of 2020. Nobody's going to remember you were the world's greatest CSR or account manager. What they will remember is who you were as a person, as a husband or wife, father, mother, son, daughter, citizen. That's your legacy, and that's what needs to be supported by a personal plan. So, Scott, how do we build this plan of yours, you might be wondering? Well, we're going to, rather than move ahead, we're going to step back a little bit. We're going to go back in time, and I want you to make a list, handwritten or otherwise. And I want you to think about the things you used to do that you really enjoyed that you don't do anymore. The things you currently do that you enjoy, but don't have enough time to do or don't do often enough. And then the things you've always wanted to do, but haven't found the time or the resources or gotten permission to engage in. I want you to spend some time here. This list is going to grow actually over time, because as you remember things and as you imagine things, other goals and objectives you once had, long buried perhaps, will begin to resurface and ultimately become top of mind. And it's important to capture those as well. When you're making your list, don't evaluate the merits of any particular goal, just write it down. Don't ask yourself if you can do it. Don't give up before you start. And it doesn't matter if the goal is a big one, little one, or somewhere in the middle. It can be as simple as remembering to take the trash out on Tuesday night, which I always forget, running a marathon, taking a trip, finding new love, whatever it is, put it down. And your list should include your professional objectives as well. They are a means to an end. Your professional plan is your funding mechanism for your personal plan. That's how it works, and that's what I mean by both plans working in harmony. When they do work together, you'll find an incredible sense of satisfaction and meaning in what you do beyond serving our primary purpose. Once again, make no decisions when you're making your list. Make no decisions about whether you can or can't do it, will or won't do it. That's not important right now. What's important right now is what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, what you want your life to look like. Pay attention to how you feel when you're doing this. And again, take a couple of days. Don't do it in a rush like everything else. Just take a couple of days and let it come to you. A reminder, we're looking for little goals, big goals, and all the middle goals. They can be as simple as going to yoga twice a week, going for a run, or as large as doubling the size of your book of business. As you write these things down, whether it's on a piece of paper or you're keying them into your computer, you're actually going to start feeling better. And that's because we're taking them out of our head and making them tangible. We haven't even done anything yet, and already we're feeling a little more positive and a little more motivated. So your assignment for the next session is to have ready the answer to the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want your life to look like from this point forward, both personally and professionally? The good news is we get to decide. Life doesn't have to be a series of random and haphazard events connected day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. We can be self-determined. And it starts here, and it starts now. In our next episode, we're going to start working on your personal and your professional plan to make some of these goals and objectives a reality. Again, not overnight, but over time. Thanks so much for listening. I look forward to speaking with you again soon. This has been a Scott Primiano production, all rights reserved.